Welcome, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys are having a wonderful and a blessed day. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a dream that I had back in November of 2019. And this is a dream that I've been really pondering on and sitting on for a while. And there are times when sometimes that, I'll see something in the spirit or Lord will give me a dream and I'll get the immediate revelation or understanding of it. And then there are times when I'll have a dream and the Lord reveals in part what the revelation or what the understanding is of that dream as I go along. And so it's kind of one of those situations where when I had the dream, I didn't immediately understand what the significance of I knew it was significant, but I didn't get the full revelation of what the dream was revealing. And I remember when I had the dream, I woke up the next morning and I had shared the dream with my husband, and I was kind of telling him about it. And it kind of, a lot of times when I wake up and I'm having a dream that I know that is, of weight, or that is like, I need to remember this dream. I usually write it down, or I will share it with my husband to kind of just, talk to him about it. And so it was one of the situations when I had this dream, I kind of woke up and I was kind of mentioning it to him. Fast forward, as the months went on, I got more and more understanding of what the Lord was showing me in the dream. And the dream is actually, the Lord have revealed a few things in the dream that have gotten the revelation of, and I wanted to get on here and I wanted to share that with you guys. So like I said, back in 2019, November 2019, I had a dream, and in the dream I was preparing to go on a trip. I was going somewhere to vacation, or just, I knew that I was going to be on a very, very, very long flight, and that where I was going was on the other side of the world. That I was going to be on a very long flight, and I was going to be gone for a substantial amount of time. And so I was packing a suitcase and I was putting a lot of clothes in it, and I was just kind of, how when you're packing, you're just getting everything you need. So I was getting everything that I needed, and I was in a I was in a high-rise apartment or something, and I was just getting everything prepared. And I felt as if I was going to be gone for a while, that it was going it wasn't going to be a quick trip, and that I was going to be going to China. So I'm packing, I get on the flight. And when I get on the flight, the airplane, it was a pretty large plane, but there were only a few people on the plane, which was kind of like, oh, it's not a really packed flight. It was probably about a handful of people that was on the flight. And so we're pretty much, I would say it was probably no more than maybe 7 people that was on the flight. It wasn't a lot of people on the flight at all. And I remember sitting there, and as we were taking off, we were, the plane was going higher and higher and higher and higher in the atmosphere. And it almost felt as if we were so high, almost like we were kind of almost going into outer space, like like we were above, just even where the planes normally, cruise at. We were like really high in the atmosphere. And immediately, we wound up getting, somehow there was a radio or something on the plane, and the stewardess got a broadcast that came over the radio. And she comes into the cabin and she's like, something's really catastrophic is going on the earth. And so everyone gets up, and she's like, yeah, like something's bad is happening. And so we're, the broadcast comes over the radio. And so we all get out of our seats and we crowd around the stewardess and the radio. And as I'm walking up, I'm standing there, I'm walking up, and then I'm standing there, I heard the word Cold War, COLD, war. And immediately after that, there was a second broadcast that came, and it was the voice over the broadcast over the radio was saying that there was some sort of like outbreak, and that it was literally like it was contagious, and everybody was just contagious, and it was like it was bad. And if you ever watch any of those apocalyptic movies or whatever, where everything is just like everything is just falling to pieces on and everything in society, and everything is just going haywire and chaotic. And it was like the feeling that kind of came over me was that whatever it is like really bad. And so the person on the broadcast radio, they were like kind of like an emergency response. You know how when you have a disaster approaching, or something like with the weather, you get that message over the TV or over the radio. It was like that. It was like, prepare. There's something that's outbreaking, and people are like dying, and people are almost like, it felt like if you see the movies with the apocalypse, and just people are just running scared and just like that. So I kind of felt like, oh my goodness, like what is going on? And I remember standing there, and I was like, when this plane lands, what am I going to have to deal with? What am I going to have to face? And it's like I felt a sense of like, this is not good, like this is really bad. And so I wound up waking up. And so the next morning when I woke up, I was telling my husband about the dream, and telling him, I said, yeah, I kept hearing, like I heard the word Cold War, and I don't know what that is. And so, so fast forward, the whole thing with the coronavirus comes about. And I took that the Lord was showing me back in November in this dream, that what I was seeing, or that what I was hearing over the radio was the whole thing with the coronavirus. Okay. Now, the thing with the Cold War, because I kind of looked it up, but I really didn't get the full, understanding of that until recently with the Cold War. And I'm going to share that with you guys briefly, the revelation that I got from that part of the dream. But in part of the revelation of this dream, there was two broadcasts. The first broadcast, and then I heard the word cold war, and then we got a second broadcast. And what I got from that is that there is going to be a second wave or a second outbreak. And I don't know if it's specifically the coronavirus, if it is going to be another surge, a very deadly surge of the coronavirus, or if there's going to be another viral outbreak, a second viral outbreak going forward. But I did distinctly hear two separate warnings over this radio broadcast in my dream, and I believe that it is that warning was to specify that there's not going to just be one outbreak, but there's going to be two outbreaks of some sort. Now, I don't know if it's another wave, another surge of coronavirus hitting the world, or if it's going to be another viral outbreak after the coronavirus thing kind of gets dealt with. But either way, the Lord is showing me, or showed me in this dream, about the outbreak of the coronavirus. Now, with that being said, this is not so much to be fearful or to be afraid. I do encourage everyone to stay prayed up, pray for your families, pray for yourself, pray for your home, but to also begin to strengthen your immune system. I will say start strengthening your immune system. I think I did a video, I may post it, of certain things that you can take to strengthen your immune system. But this is the time to start to strengthen your immune system and to really begin to anticipate that this whole coronavirus thing is not going to just like, that you need to really be prepared. If not this, there is going to be something else that is going to be a problem, or that is going to be released where it's going to affect people. I believe that there's going to be another surge, and that there is going to be a deadly surge of the coronavirus. And, I know a lot of people don't take it serious. I'm not going to get into that. But all I can say is that I have lost family members, a family member from the coronavirus, and it's nothing to play with. So just begin to prepare yourself, prepare your bodies, and all of that good stuff. So now going into the other part of this dream. Now, this is the part of the dream that I've been kind of sitting on, and I didn't really get the full meaning or the full revelation of it until recently, until probably back in maybe early July, I began to get the full revelation of what the other part of the dream that the Lord was showing me. I had the first broadcast, then I heard Cold War, and then I heard a second broadcast of a warning of an outbreak or something spreading. So the part about the Cold War, I'm going to talk about that real briefly. I looked the word Cold War up. And when I first got the dream, I'm going to just pull up the definition of it for you. So the word Cold War it's a state of political hostility and military tension between two countries or power blocs, involving propaganda, subversion threats, economic sanctions, and other measures short of open war, especially that between now here it says America and Soviet Union after World War II. This is just a quick definition I pulled up. So we see just in history that the United States have had history with being in a Cold War with the Soviet Union, and I kind of did a little research on that. But going forward, I'm going to share with you what the Lord revealed to me about the Cold War. Now, back in July, the Lord had began to put this dream back in my spirit, and I began to remember more and more of it and think about it. And I'm like, man, I get the other, but the Cold War, I don't understand it. And so, I was mentioning it to my husband, and he said, well, what is it? What does it mean? And so I looked it up. He said, that sounds like it could be what's happening with the United States and China. And I'm like, you know what? That is interesting, because in my dream, when I was packing, I was saying to myself to make sure that I pack enough clothes, because I'm going to China and I'm going to be going on a long flight and I'm going to be gone for a while. So I need to make sure I'm packing enough and just preparing the right type of clothes, because I'm going to be in China. I'm going to be in Asia, literally on the other side of the world. And so that was my thinking. And it wasn't until he said that where it really sparked, China. I did say China in my dream. And so I said, well, let me just kind of just ponder on that. And sure enough, I just began to just see all of the different things that's been going on with the United States and China, especially with the trade agreement and the trade war and stuff between America and China. So just doing a little bit of research on that. Now, what I'm going to say is that a lot of people are, and a lot of the prophets, a lot of people are warning or just saying that you need to begin to prepare. And I think I did a video not too long ago about preparation and preparing your house and stuff like that. We are literally entering into a season or a time of where there is hostilities between the United States and China. We are in a Cold War, and a lot of people don't realize that. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean? Because yeah, it's always been this thing. But what that means, or what the Lord was showing me in the dream, is that United States and China, that the United States and China are going to enter into a Cold War, and that there is going to be some things that are going to come about from these hostilities, dealing with trade, dealing with just propaganda, all of that. And that you need to really begin to prepare your household. You need to begin to start, not just in the spirit, but just in the natural, start to prep and stock up on things. What most people don't realize is that a lot of our goods, a lot of our the things that we use on a daily basis is manufactured. It is manufactured, made in China. And I'm not an economist. I'm not going to get into all of that. But what I will say is that I want you to think about that. If the majority of your paper products, technology, machinery, equipment, even your pharmaceutical, even the ingredients that are used for your pharmaceuticals, medicines, and different things are manufactured in China. And if we're in war with China, what is that? What does that say? That's a problem. And so most people don't realize that a lot of our frozen foods, a lot of our paper, if not all of our paper products, our technology, the parts that's used in machinery, our vehicles, come from China. A lot of our companies have been outsourced in China. They have moved to China because it's cheaper to manufacture these things. And what happens is they're manufactured in China for cheap, and then they're sold back or brought back to the United States, and sold back to the United States, where a substantial amount of profit is made off of these same goods. Now, I want to get you just briefly where you get an understanding of really what I'm talking about. Okay, China, next to the United States, is the number one, I would say, superpower when it comes to the economy, when it comes to goods, when it comes to all of that. Okay, so in 2019, it says that China had a $2.1 trillion in imports. So they are really big with manufacturing things and having trade agreements with different countries. Okay. Electrical machinery, 496.8 billion, which is like 24% of their economy. Mineral fuels, they got their hand in that. $343.6 billion in that. Machinery and computers, technology, 190.3 billion. Ores and ash, 163.6 billion. Optical, technical, medicine, 98.7 billion. Vehicles. Now, this is a part of their import, okay, their economy, what they produce, and then what they sell to other countries. So vehicle parts, $75.1 billion, plastics, $71.6 billion, gems, precious metals, $60.5 billion, organic chemicals, 57.8 billion, copper, 40.8 billion. So we see that China holds like a huge amount of I guess power when it comes to manufacturing and producing much of what the world needs to function. Okay, now in relation to the United States, a lot of our goods, a lot of the things that we use for everyday functioning, for business operations, come from China. Okay, I want to say it again. The majority, if not a lot, of what we use for our daily, day-to-day lives, just if you even go around your house and just look on the back of stuff, it'll say made in China, made in China. A lot of what we use on a daily basis, and a lot of what a lot of companies operate on, or businesses operate on, is manufactured in China. Now, what does that say if we are in a Cold War, if we are in a war or hostilities with China, when they hold majority of what we use here in this country on a day-to-day basis? That's the problem. So it says that China is the second largest holder of U.S. Treasuries, and U.S. Treasuries includes bills, notes, and bonds. China owns land over here, over in the United States. So China has a lot of influence, a lot of power, a lot of economic. They have their hands economically in the U.S. economy and all of that. And I think a lot of what Trump was trying to do is trying to kind of bust that up to some degree. But we have to just understand that this is not good when you have a country and you have much of what that country needs is being outsourced or manufactured from another country that they have hostilities with, or that there's quote unquote a Cold War with. Now, what happens if, in that Cold War, United States and China, like some things, just no agreements or just whatever? What can happen is that then you start seeing the resources and the things that are flowing in, the imports that are flowing into the United States for us to use, those things, those prices being jacked up. You see those resources drying up, and ultimately it can lead into a famine. It can lead into an economic famine. It can lead into a financial famine. It can lead into a food shortage. It can lead into so many other things that the United States infrastructure is built on. And that is a problem. So when we start talking about, when you're hearing people saying it's time to stock up, it's time, you need to start prepping, there is a reason why you need to start really prepping your household and making sure that you have a substantial amount to sustain yourself. I just went into one of the stores the other day and I was looking at some vitamins and different things, and I was amazed to see that the prices on even the vitamins and the supplements are like much higher. The prices are going up. Meat is going up. And I had another dream, and I'm going to share that in another video. I'm going to share this dream that I had a few days ago, specifically what the Lord is showing me. But this is time to really begin to get serious about storing up, getting the things that you need, because we really don't know where this is going to lead with U.S.-China trade agreements, and just even the whole ramifications for that. Like I said, China has their hands in a lot of different industries, a lot of different industries. They have their hands in investments. We're talking about U.S. investments. They have their hands in technology that we need and that we use. They have their hands in different industries, the vehicle industry, machinery industry, as well as the pharmaceutical. Most people don't know that China is one of the biggest suppliers of chemicals and just different organic chemicals and just different things that are used in order to make medicines. So, you may have medicines that are being manufactured in India, but guess what? They're getting their chemical compounds, they're getting their things that they need to make those medicines from China. So that directly affects how, even how things can flow even in the United States. Not I will say this, don't just prepare your house for food and all of that stuff, but start, if you take medicine, if you have family members or parents that are relying on medications, this is the time to start stocking up on that. And you may have an insurance company that may only, pay for 30-day supplies. See if you can go and purchase, you know, out of pocket. There are discount programs that are out there that you can use when you are purchasing self-pay medications that will lower the price of a lot of drugs somewhere up to like 70 to 80%. Start looking into that. Start looking into having a stockpile of different medications that you're going to be needing, or that your family members or your parents may be needing. Start storing up and stocking up on that as well. So I just kind of wanted to kind of share that, that this is what's happening, that we are in a cold war with China. And really, when you think about when I really think about it, this is really a cold war. This is really a war of propaganda, because China is a communist country, and then what does the United States? United States represents liberties and freedom. So there's really a conflict of propaganda that's really underlying the root of what is really going on. So as I've said before, just continue to be in prayer. Pray for your household. Pray for yourself. Pray for our nation. Pray for the nation, the United States. And if this is where you live, if this is where you got roots and stuff, this is your home, you need to pray for it. You need to pray for the judicial system. Start praying for just legislation. I'm talking to the people of God, those that are believers. Begin to pray strategically as to what God would have you to pray as it concerns our economy, as it concerns to our resources, that our resources will not dry up, that our resources will not be manipulated and controlled, by outside forces that we have come into agreement with. And even that a strategic prayer is that this country will begin to look into ways of manufacturing the things that we need. I don't like the fact that this country has been so dependent on other countries to function. That's a problem. As a nation, we should be able to manufacture our own things, to grow our own food, to provide our own fuel and the things that we need, and not be to have pharmaceutical companies that manufacture the things that are needed here. So I just believe that, we need to begin to pray strategic prayers, that this country, that the United States will be a self-reliant, and really any country, not just United, but any country would be that would be self-reliant. It's not good to be dependent on other forces or other other countries. So, and then pray for that there will be leaders that really care about the people that they're leading, that they care about the communities that they're overseeing, that they care about the states that they're governing. And so I just want to encourage everyone. I want to just share this with you guys. I'm sure that there's more that can be added. I don't want to make this video too long, but I just want to share the dream that I had, and that the Lord has been showing me, that He showed me the coronavirus. He also showed me that there's going to be a second outbreak, a second surge. I don't know if it's going to be from coronavirus or it's going to be another virus that's going to be coming. But, and then also the Cold War that we are the beginning stages of with China, and that we need to be preparing our households. We need to be at a place where we are, making a checklist, going through what we need, going through, the things that you're going to need, not just food, but your, household goods that you're going to need. A lot of our stuff that we use, household goods, is manufactured in China, is manufactured in other countries. A lot of our food, fresh foods, fresh vegetables, and just different things that we consume, and food-wise, come from other countries, come from, a lot of our parts, machinery, equipment come from other countries. So we need to just be in prayer about that. Start prepping your house, get in a position, being prayerful, staying close to the Father, getting under the blood of Jesus, and really getting serious about what God is speaking, what He is saying to do, and being obedient to that, not being slothful, not being lazy, not putting things off, but beginning to prepare now. Now is the time. And this is really kind of later in the season, because but it's still not too late to start doing these things. So I just wanted to encourage everyone and say God bless you, and I will speak with you soon. Okay, have a blessed day. Bye.